Maria?
Are you one of those people who sets goals but has a hard time achieving them? Do you think your goals are so unattainable that you don't even bother to set them? Or do you believe that goal setting is a waste of time and doesn't work? Did you know that less than 3% of the population write down their goals? People just don't bother to design their destiny. Instead, they stumble through life, leaving things to chance, and wonder why they don't have what they want. You've heard the expression, failing to plan is a plan to fail. Most people never stop to design the kind of life that they want to live. Imagine this analogy. It's like going out in a boat without a rudder, or what are those things called? I think they're called a rudder or an oar, and getting tossed and turned in every direction. You really could end up anywhere rather than steering in the direction that you want to go. Most people spend more time making a list for the grocery store rather than making a list of things that they want to accomplish. On today's show, my expert panel is going to show you how to start turning your dreams into reality with effective goal setting. Goal setting and the law of attraction go hand in hand in my books, and today we're going to share with you the 6 steps to manifest faster, to manifest your goals faster using the law of attraction. There's an expression that I love. A lot of people say, well, I'll believe it when I see it. I say, I'll see it when I believe it. You see, your mind is so powerful. It's the most powerful resource that we have. I never thought I'd be here until I actually thought about being here right now. And you'll understand what we're talking about in a few minutes. Hi everyone, I'm Maria Kritikos, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Ladies Who Lunch Network, or LWL, Life Without Limits. We are a global network of women in business, fashion, and philanthropy, living their dream and making a difference in the world. And I'm also the host of HangoutWithMaria.com, a live Google Hangout show every Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time from beautiful British Columbia. The purpose of the show is to inspire women to be fearless and fabulous by helping them realizing about their dream. It's really about discovering your passion, living your dream, and making a difference. Some of you may know me from my podcast on iTunes called Lunch with Maria, dishing inspirational business advice, one podcast at a time. I'm also a certified law of attraction facilitator, and it's a pleasure to be here with you today. I would love to introduce my amazing panel. These are all LWL members. They are all members of the Ladies Who Lunch Network. A lot of them are founding members, and it's a pleasure to introduce them today. So let's start first with Manelli. Manelli, introduce yourself and say hello to everyone.
Hi everyone, Maria, thank you so much for having me here today. I'm Manelli Noorbakhsh. I'm a designer and a consultant in the fashion industry. I currently consult designers and clothing labels on branding, collection, unification, or design. I also teach various classes at Blanche McDonald School of Fashion Design. And that's my past experiences include designing at various well-known labels, running several businesses, as well as working in politics, and a long time ago. And putting all of them together have brought me here today.
That's awesome, Manelli. Thank you so much, and it's such a pleasure to have you with us today. And I also want to mention that you, of course, are a Ladies Who Lunch member, a founding member, actually, and you spoke at one of our events, I think it would have been last year, on goal setting, so I'm very, very honored that you are with us today. Joanna, say hello.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Joanna, and I work as a real estate agent, but recently I have also started my own blog. It's a lifestyle blog called Inspiration Mecca, and it focuses on entrepreneurship, also personal development, and inspiration in general. So it includes things that really do inspire me, things like some fashion, decor, travel, but it also features inspiring individuals, entrepreneurial individuals, passionpreneurs that are following their dream as well. And I really created it because I want to live my best life. I want to be my best self, and I want to find my inspiration, discover my happy, and I hope that it encourages people to do the same. So I'm very happy to be here, Maria, today, and chat with you ladies.
Thank you, Joanna. That's awesome. And I remember a short while ago, I think it was probably a year ago, that you were at a Ladies Who Lunch event, and I made you stand up. And I passed the microphone to you, and I was like, okay, Joanna, what is your goal, and what is it that you want to do? And you're like, oh my God,
Absolutely.
You did not just do that.
That was really, really powerful. So that is really a testament to the power of your words and so your thoughts, but verbalizing your thoughts and saying them aloud, and obviously even better, writing them down. So all of those things make you really accountable and make you follow through. So, yeah.
Thanks, Joanna. Miss Claudia DuPont.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you for having me this morning.
My pleasure.
I'm just trying to block out the sun that's now coming in behind me, so bear with me. So yeah, I'm Claudia. I'm a fashion stylist and costume designer, and I've been doing that for 10 years. That's pretty much my world. I designed 11 shows recently back to back, so it's been really crazy.
Wow.
But I'm happy to be here today, yeah.
That's awesome, Claudia. And I want to mention that you were one of the first Ladies Who Lunch members, so it's an honor to have you here. Thank you. And over to Debbie Talbert. Debbie Talbert, who's coming to us from Florida. I don't know if you can see the palm trees in the back, but I'm jealous.
Yeah, hey everybody, I'm Debbie Talbert, and I am coming to you from Florida in the Starbucks. You know, you can do all kinds of things here in Starbucks, right? I am a baby boomer flight attendant who is reinventing myself and transitioning into this next stage of my life. And what I do is I have a weekly hangout show, and I teach people, mainly coaches and trainers, how to use the Google Plus and the Hangout platform, so they can bring their message to more people and inspire more people. And then also once a week I do have an interview with a success story. And I focus mainly with working with women that are helping other women, because my mission is to help women believe in themselves and empower women so they can create lives that they love living. And I love being part of the Ladies Who Lunch Network, and I love this opportunity to be here and hang out with everybody today.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you so much. And I've had the pleasure of hanging out with Debbie and being on her show, hangoutwithdebbie.com, and it was a lot of fun, so thank you. And finally, last but not least, my good friend and founding member of the Ladies Who Lunch Network, Miss Kassar Jacobson. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you, Maria, so much for having me on this show. I'm Kassar, everybody, and my focus is on life coaching, public speaking, and writing. And my whole mission in life is to help people understand that average is for people without any courage, and particularly for women, because we do things different. It's so important that we empower each other rather than compete with each other, because in the end, that's how we all win.
I love it, Kassar. Thank you. And I'm just going to be really honest here. This morning we had a little bit of difficulty putting on Kassar's lower third, which is really what you're seeing down here, hangoutwithmaria.com/community to join our Google Plus community. And poor Kassar, we tried our best, but we just couldn't get it together. We just couldn't get it to work, and that's okay. But I want to give a shout out at Kassar, your website, if anyone wants to get in touch with you.
It is www.kassarjacobson.com.
KassarJacobson.com. Thank you. And I also want to mention that Kassar has also been a speaker at one of our Ladies Who Lunch events, and it was great. I do believe that topic was the secret to success. So today we're talking about goal setting. So back to goal setting and the law of attraction. The law of attraction says that whatever you give your attention, energy, and focus to, you will attract more of, whether positive or negative. Fear and doubt will kill any goal that you've ever had. And so today I want to share with you the top things that you need to know to accomplish and achieve your goals and to get closer to your goals. So number one, I would say to write down your goals. I write my goals everywhere. I write them in books. I write them in notepads. I write them on pieces of paper like this. Like, I'm constantly writing things down. And another important thing is to visualize yourself already having achieved this goal and imagine what it would feel like to to have attained your goal. So that's my first tip. My first tip is really write down your goals. Write them everywhere. I write them everywhere. So tip number 2, Claudia.
Tip number 2 is to put a date on it. Obviously, it helps if you set a schedule. And if by the time you reach the end of it, you still haven't accomplished your goal, then take a look back and look at what you're failing to do to get there. A goal is just a dream with a deadline.
A goal is a dream with a deadline. I love it. And sometimes it's okay for your goals to change. Is that what you're saying, Claudia, right?
Yeah, and I find a lot of people will just be like, oh, I want to do this in 2 years. But okay, fine. What are the steps? What's the schedule to get there and accomplish this in 2 years? Don't just look at the end time. Look at what you need to do to get there.
I love it. Perfect. Tip number 3, Joanna.
Okay. So my tip number 3 is unsubscribing to any limiting beliefs. So I want to illustrate this point by telling you guys a story about a life seminar that I took a while back. And basically, the life seminar, among many things, was talking about examining our beliefs, our thoughts, and then how our words tie into those beliefs and thoughts. So basically, the instructor, the workshop leader, asked people to volunteer, stand up, and talk about a goal that they wanted to achieve, and what the wording was. So I decided to volunteer for it. I got up in front of hundreds of people, and I think at the time I was looking for a new job. So basically, I said the following thing. I said, I'm looking for a new job, but I don't think I have the necessary skills. So then she stopped me and she said, okay, let's examine your words, and actually one choice of words that you used there. The main word was but, and she said this kind of created a sort of a really negative block that was preventing me in my mind and creating a huge sort of dilemma. So she said, why don't you switch it around, change your wording, and just use the word and. Now and then restate that sentence.
So what was the sentence? So the sentence before you were saying is, I want to get a certain job, or I want to do something, but I don't have the skills, or something like that.
But I feel I don't have the necessary skills. So I rephrased it, and I just put the two ideas together, and I said, I'm looking to get a new job, and I don't feel I have the necessary skills to land the job. So it just kind of rephrased my whole mentality and my perceived dilemma. So it was two things. And so then she said to me, well, what do you need to do in order to solve this perceived dilemma? So what kind of action do you need to do? I mean, it only becomes a dilemma when you make it a dilemma in your mind. So I went home that night and I wrote down a very specific list of action steps that I was going to take. And I went ahead the following day and I followed through on at least one of them. So it was just kind of, again, a little testament to the power of shifting my thoughts, but shifting the specific words that I used in order to follow through. So suddenly it wasn't a dilemma anymore. And the great news is that I did actually land the job. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Sounds great, Joanna. Thank you so much for that tip. So again, the importance of watching your words, and it's funny how one word can actually change your perception. So Joanna changed the word but to and, right? So it's a different way of looking at something and thinking of something. In my course, Idea to Reality, and using the law of attraction, I teach you the 3 words that you have to avoid using. The 3 words that you have to avoid using. And when you stop using those words, it changes the way you think. So let's continue with tip number 4. I believe it is Kassar.
Hi, guys. Sorry, I cut out there for a moment. So, so my tip here is your network and who's around you. And the reason that's so important is because sometimes we don't hold ourselves to a high enough value. We don't validate our worth. And so our circle of influence, those that we emulate, should be the people that we keep closest to us. We must add value to them just as they add value to us. And our passions might be completely different, but we slow ourselves down when the people around us aren't making the sacrifices that they need to make in order to pursue their dream. Now, if my dream is writing and speaking, and I have a girlfriend or a guy friend whose dream is to practice and practice until he hits where he needs to be in the Olympics, our goals are very different, but his mindset and his drive and his action, his plan of action that he's taking place is going to empower me. And the people around you need to be comfortable with giving you constructive criticism. And the successes that you attain in your life should make them feel like it's their success, because they hold you to a high regard. They trust you, they know for you, they care for you. And you know, we each have a purpose in life, and they're all very different purposes. But take a look at those that are around you. And I've kind of had this theory in life. There's people that are constants, best friends, acquaintances, and strangers. And to me, there's a lot of people that use the term best friend very loosely. And the reason we shouldn't do that is because best friends may not necessarily want to empower you. They'll want to compete with you. So every few years, you'll notice that your friends should start to shift if you're doing what you need to be doing to be growing as a person. And some of those friends will grow with you. But you'll notice that, you know, as you get older, you know, with age comes wisdom. And the people around you should be the people that empower you the most, and in fact are very successful in their own passion, and they go hand in hand.
Excellent. Kasar, thank you so much for that. It is very important to surround yourself with like-minded individuals, and that was one of the reasons that I started the Ladies Who Lunch Network, really. I do believe that the secret to success and achieving your goals is to surround yourself with people that have already achieved something that you want to achieve. So that is a very good tip. Tip number 5, I'm going to go to Miss Manelli.
Thank you, Maria. Tip number 5 is to have a plan of action and to connect with a mentor. Connecting with a mentor, not only does it expand your network, but you also learn so much. Also, a lot of you out there maybe are in a position to be a mentor to someone, and that's so important. In the past, when I've connected with a mentor, I've learned so many different things that I wouldn't have even thought of. Like, it just took my mind to a whole new place. And also, I've had a lot of students in the past who have connected to me for me to be their mentor. And that in itself is incredibly rewarding. So it really is a two-way street. If you're connecting with a mentor, both people get something back in return from it. And also with a plan of action, it's so important to write it down, like Maria said earlier, and like Claudia said, to have a deadline. And with a plan of action, it doesn't need to be really big steps. You can write down little tiny steps and just easy things to accomplish at first, and then slowly write down the larger and larger goals until you ultimately reach your dream. Yeah, with a plan. So, yeah.
I love it. Yes, there's an expression, maybe Joanna, you can help me with this one. It's like, you don't need to see like when you're driving, it's from one of your books, when you're driving and it's a foggy highway, you don't need to see the end, you just need to see the next 5 feet in front of you, right?
In front of you, yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
awesome. Next tip, Debbie.
Hey guys, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. I think my connection's going in and out here at the Starbucks.
I can
My
hear you.
tip
Yeah.
number 6 is to actually tell somebody about your goal. However, I have a caveat on that. I think personally you need to be very strategic about who you tell. Just like we've been talking about who you're hanging out with, and I think who you're going to tell, you want to tell someone that's going to encourage you and uplift you and help you move in the right direction and be honest with you. With the steps that you're taking. So I think you have to be strategic with to who you're telling, because you want it to be someone that's kind of wanting to move in a forward direction in their life also. And it helps if you can find yourself a coach. Sometimes you need a coach to help you be accountable. And those are one of the steps that I've recently taken in my life, is gotten myself a coach, and that's made a huge difference in helping me to move forward and keep going in the right direction towards my goals.
Excellent. Very good advice, ladies. So I'm going to give you a bonus tip. For me, really, what I have realized is that aligning what you want with your conscious mind, like aligning what you want in your conscious mind with your subconscious mind, is really very important when you're goal setting. So you need to align conscious with subconscious thoughts, really. And I'm reading this awesome book right now. It's a really old book. It's been around for a very long time. It's called Psycho-Cybernetics. See, I pronounced it correctly. Psycho-Cybernetics. And I read this book. I picked this book up in 2008, so it's been a while. But I recently started reading it again as a recommendation from one of the LWL members. Really, the book is talks about us seeing ourselves doing what we want before it actually happens. So basically, the book teaches you how to program your mind for success, how to use your creative imagination, using what Dr. Maxwell Maltz calls the theater of the mind to achieve anything that you want. So if you're looking for something to read, the new Psycho-Cybernetics is an awesome, awesome book. So let's just do a quick recap. I'm going to go back to my expert panel, and we're just going to touch on the 6 points that you need to focus on to achieve your goals. Number one, I would say write your goals down and be specific. Actually visualize yourself already having obtained the goal. Number two, Claudia. Claudia. Oh, she's on mute. Sorry. There you go. I have to unmute you. There you go. Oh, no, Claudia, we can't hear you. You're on mute. You have to unmute yourself. There you go.
There we go, of course. So did you hear anything I said at all before?
No, it's a recap. We're just doing a recap. So your tip number two.
Tip number two is put a date on it.
Awesome. And next tip would be Joanna.
Tip number three. That's
Yes.
tip number three. So tip number three is unsubscribing to your limiting beliefs by actually changing your words and changing your language so that you can change your actions.
Perfect. Next tip, Manelli. No, sorry, it's Kassar, or it doesn't matter. Tip number four is Kassar.
Okay.
So the tip is just analyzing who's around you, making sure that the network that you're in communication with and who you emulate with is people that also make sacrifices in their life.
Perfect. And tip number five, Manelli.
Tip number five is to have a plan of action, and in that plan of action include connecting with the mentor.
Excellent. And the last one, Debbie, tip number six.
And tip number 6 is just tell somebody. That's somebody that's going to support you and help guide you and be positive about it.
I love it. Thank you, ladies. I would like to ask you guys just a few questions, maybe personal ones, but share what you like. So how often do you guys set goals? I'm just going to really go through the panel and just really quick answers. So Manelli, how often do you set goals?
Sure, I set goals as they come to me. That being said, I review my goals about 4 times a year to ensure that the goals I've set continue to excite me and that I'm on the right track of achieving them.
Awesome. Joanna, how often do you set goals?
I set goals daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly. So laugh. It's like
That's
I'm
awesome.
really, I'm very a structured and very organized person. So like I set goals. What am I going to accomplish today, tomorrow, and I have to have those written down, and I make a list of everything. So it's actually, I'm just making from smaller to larger ones. I'm just like constantly making them. So
awesome.
yeah.
Debbie, how often do you set goals?
Actually, well, I set the main goals once a year, and then I review them every 3 months to see how I'm doing and being on track and see if I need to change the direction that I'm going.
Awesome. Claudia?
Well, it's like Manelli said, I set them all the time, like as different challenges present themselves to me. I set my main goals, obviously, usually at the beginning of every year, and I just try to review them monthly and just see where I'm at with everything.
Love it. Kassar?
I like to have something called vision cards, and I always have them in my binder or my notebook. I also have photos of them that I keep in my phone. Now, these vision cards, there's a few of them, and I read them every day, but it's in the form of an affirmation. So I am this, not I am going to be this. It's I am this, and I read them every day. And I've done this for years, and an example of that would be many, many, many years ago when I wanted to become a surgeon. I would say, I am a surgeon, but one day I realized it's not what I wanted to do. And I was reading it, and it didn't feel right to me. So the reason I put it in the form of an affirmation is because if you keep saying it and one day it doesn't feel right to you, then you can shift and reanalyze what your vision card says.
I love it. You guys, these are awesome, awesome, awesome tips. My hunch is that you've heard something today that really inspired you or that you found helpful or useful. If so, please share today's show with your friends or anyone that you think might benefit. And don't forget to join our She's in Biz online community. You can go there by just joining the link hangoutwithmaria.com/community. It's an online network with women from all over the world supporting and encouraging each other to achieve their goals and dreams. And remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you found this video interesting for more videos like this. So ladies, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So choose wisely and make hanging out with Maria a habit every Saturday morning. Until next time on the hangoutwithmaria.com. It's a pleasure to be here with you, and I hope to see you next time. And remember, it's never too late to set goals. Do it today. As a matter of fact, get started right now. So thank you, panel, and goodbye.
Bye.
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 Bye.